Our Thursday board meeting, monthly board meeting. This is a bigger one than just a Thursday. We would like to go ahead and get started with, I don't know yet, I haven't opened this paper. The Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. Let's do a roll call vote. Okay, it's all in front of me. So we want to first thank for joining us our Utah Highway Patrol Trooper Carlos Hawley and Security Davon Booth. And in case of emergency, use the two west doors leading to the hallway to exit the building. We'll go ahead and do a roll call vote. If we can be quick enough on the button. You ready, Kelsey? Member Bogus?
Yes, sir.
Member Bollinger? Here. Member Booth?
Here.
Member Brinton? Here. Member Davis?
Here.
Member Earl? Member Green? Member Hall?
Here.
Vice Chair Hart?
Here.
I am here. Member Kelly? Here. Member Carey? Here. Member Lear? Here. Member Reel? Here. Vice Chair Wood?
Yes.
And, okay, so we will keep an eye out for Member Green. Have we heard from Member Green or Member Earl if they're joining online?
They should be here about 9:30.
Okay.
Member Earl will be here. She's just caught up in a different engagement.
Perfect. Okay. Let's go ahead and get started then. I have not requested or asked anybody to give the Pledge of Allegiance. That's on me.
I'd be happy to, sir.
Thank you, Superintendent Dixon. Okay. I mean, I like that we're both wearing pink. Member Lear, will you go ahead, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for that. Let's go ahead and move into our board member message, and this is going to be offered by Member Davis.
Good morning. Welcome, board members and everyone who's joining us today. It's so great to see you this morning. I'm not sure how this exactly happened. It's my fault for signing up, but you heard from me just a couple of months ago. So to spare you all from having to hear from me again, I have invited some others to join us, and I am so excited about this. I have asked Randy, Member Booth, and Christina, Member Bogus, to sing for. Christina's going to sing for us, and Randy's going to play, and we are all in for a real treat. I have been wanting this for a long time, and so our first part is going to be this lovely song, and it's going to segue right into my second 5 minutes, which is a wonderful guest, a specialist of world languages who has done amazing things with students. And so this is really a wonderful world, and so I'm going to have turn the time over to members Bogus and Booth to sing What a Wonderful World for us.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and for you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue, clouds of white, dark and blessed day, the dark sacred night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They really say, I love you. to myself, what a wonderful world.
Very good.
Might make me a little teary to see, love to see these talents. It is a wonderful world, and I love the words in the song when it talks about friends saying hello, how do you do, and children learning. And I feel like in our world languages courses all across the state, we really are trying to make the world a better place by teaching people how to communicate with each other. And the world has become small through technology, and we need people who are proficient and who can communicate not just with people next door, but with countries next door and beyond. And I have asked Jody Lindsay to come today. She's the world language specialist in Alpine School District, and she, along with some other specialists and every world language teacher of multiple different languages, have spent hours and hours meeting to figure out the best strategies to help kids understand other languages. And they are blowing the top off, and she'll have this in a slide, I'm sure. But the state average right now to earn the seal of biliteracy is 4% of students. Their students are 10.4 or 10.6 or something percent. They are blowing the top off of this, and you have to be proficient. And these aren't just dual language immersion students. These are even students that come in and take our secondary courses in world languages. And it's pretty amazing. You have to be intermediary proficiency to be able to get this seal in English and in another language. And not just speaking, but also reading and writing and listening. So I know Kelsey's getting her set up with her slides, and hopefully it's going to work. On a little side personal note, while they're still trying to get set up, I will say that Jody and I taught together, this will severely date us, but 30 years ago, for many years at a junior high school, and those were the best days. We had so much fun teaching our junior high school students. She taught German and I taught English, and I couldn't have asked for better. We have so many connections. He made the world wonderful. You made it a wonderful world.
Thank you, Cindy, and thank you for that.
It says it's on, now it's off. Jerry's on his way. We'll get some help.
Thank you for that moving number. I was watching several people wipe their eyes, and I sat there thinking this really is a beautiful world. And creating a beautiful world is really at the crux of what we do in world languages in Alpine School District. And by world, I of course am talking about our Utah neighborhoods, our Utah community, our state, and beyond these borders. And so we are really focused on developing those skills in our students that create the leaders to create our economies and just a beautiful place to belong. So today I want to share with you briefly about some of our work in Alpine School District and how we are leading in the state, and we are having national recognition for our work. So maybe there are some of you who took a world language class in junior high or high school. You might be able to look at here. We shifted about 14 years ago in Alpine from teaching about language to teaching students how to use language. So instead of just lists of vocabulary words and your verb conjugations and maybe isolated cultural lessons, we started teaching students really how to create with language language and how to make it a usable skill. And so I am here today to share a little bit about how we're doing this and what this looks like in Utah and beyond our borders. We now are able to test our level 3, 4, and AP students using the same test as our dual language immersion students in Utah. It's called the Apple test, and we test the 4 modes of communication, which are speaking, writing, listening, and reading. And I am going to be just showing you a little bird's eye view of some of the data that we have. This is going to be for all languages, for all levels, meaning 3, 4, and AP, our first language learners and our second language learners, and so forth. Blue will represent above level, green will represent at level, yellow will mean 1 sub-level under what our target is, and red will mean 2 or more. So we look here at the 3 columns. We have speaking, writing, listening, and reading. And you can see here in 2022 to 2024, if you cast your eyes there, the first thing that we noticed was we are moving our students really from at level to above level. And we've been able to identify how we've done this. It has really come from professional learning opportunities and then our teachers being able to take these strategies and this philosophical shift back to the classroom and having the opportunity to try these things with our students. And when you are having professional learning opportunities every couple months and you're creating these shifts, they compound on each other. And that's why we are getting students higher. We also noticed our red is shrinking. The yellow is interesting because these are end of year targets that you see, and we test our students at the end of February and throughout the first part of March. We know that seat time matters. And so we've been able to make goals about how to move more of the students in the red to the yellow, and the yellow to the green, and the green to the blue. So what does this look like in Utah? We have, of course, the Utah State Seal of Biliteracy, where students need to demonstrate about an intermediate proficiency level in English and in a world language. So how does Alpine, what's our story with this? You can see back in 2013, when we started this journey on teaching toward proficiency, we had 1 student, and then we grew a little bit in 2017, 18, 19. These were mostly our dual language immersion students. In 2021 is when we gained access in Alpine to test our level 3, 4, and AP students. You can see here those touch points of the professional learning that we did. You can see that we have grown significantly. And last May, we were able to award 658 seals to our seniors who graduated. As Cindy was mentioning, what does this look? Oh, thank you. Thank you. What does this look like? This is a map from last year that shows the percentage of students around the nation who earned the Utah Seal of Biliteracy. You can see in Utah that we had 4% of our seniors who earned the seal. And if you kind of look at the number, the percent around us, we're leading there. But in Alpine, we awarded last year the 10.8% of seniors the Utah Seal of Biliteracy. And that is something that we're really proud of, because we do believe that we are creating these students to be able to live in and contribute to a really wonderful world. So thank you very much for having me here, and thank you also for supporting our youth.
And that's all, folks. She's so awesome. And these 2 next to me are so awesome. It's going to be a great day. Welcome to board meeting. I think they should go on the road and raise money and donate it back to us. People will pay to hear this, I'm sure.
Thank you, Member Davis, and thank you, Randy, Christina. That was incredible. So thank you, and thank you for the work that's being done. Truly appreciated. Let's move on to agenda item 1.3. This is our education highlight, and we'll turn time over to Kelsey James.
Thank you, Chair. Kelsey James, Board Communications Coordinator. I have the privilege of once again this year being able to highlight, honestly, one of my favorite programs that happen throughout the state because I, like probably most of you, am a nerd and love everything like history and civics and all that good stuff. So if I could welcome our guests up to join us. I will introduce one of them, and then I will have her introduce the amazing students that we have joining us today. So we have Wendy Rex Astrek. I had it at one point, and then I always lose it later, and I'll let her say her last name correctly. She is the K-12 Initiatives Coordinator for the Utah Historical Society, as well as the State Coordinator for National History Day. So she's going to talk a little bit about that. I'll turn the time over to her.
Thank you so much, Kelsey. My name is Wendy Rex Atzet, so you just say all the letters. I'm a historian with the Utah Historical Society. I direct Utah's National History Day affiliate program for the state, and I've been in this role in both Utah and in Colorado. Utah's NHD program was created in 1980 at Utah State University, and you might recognize it by its earlier name, which was Utah History Fair. History Day is a little bit like a science fair in which students do a research project and then compete in a series of tournaments. In History Day, they choose a topic from Utah, US, or world history that relates to the NHD annual theme. And last year, our theme was Turning Points in History. Then they do extensive historical research, analysis, writing, and they finally create a project to bring to our competitions. Over 5,000 students participate in NHD across our state each year. Of those, about 500 advance to our state contest, and about 60 advance to the national contest in Washington, D.C. History Day is all about engaged teaching and learning. Our students discover history by doing history, and in the process, they meet a wide range of learning targets. They develop mastery and historical literacy by exploring a topic in depth. They develop critical thinking skills by analyzing historical documents, images, artifacts, investigating different points of view, and drawing conclusions based on evidence. They develop digital and media literacy by learning to research and identify credible information on the internet. They develop communication skills and creativity as they present their work as an exhibit, a documentary, a performance, a paper, or a website. They meet more than 25 core standards in social studies, English language arts, and other disciplines, all in one project. And they have their own moments of discovery, moments when they realize how the past continues to shape the present. So they build a diverse set of skills that will benefit them throughout school, college, and career. Now, it is my great pleasure to introduce our student guests, Ada, Ella, Sylvie, and Riley. They were students last year in Shannon Herbert's class at Clayton Middle School in Salt Lake School District. And their documentary on the Salem witch trials earned them a spot on our national team last June. Sylvie?
Thank you. Okay, sounds like everything's good. Okay, cool. So the first time our group got together to brainstorm topics for National History Day, we wrote down everything from Renaissance to women's suffrage. We had a list of strong topics that we could tie well to the NHD theme, which was turning points in history. When we began researching the Salem witch trials for our documentary, we quickly realized that there were many misconceptions around this topic. Studying people's beliefs about witches and witchcraft in Puritan New England was a very overwhelming subject at first. We had to conduct some thorough research before settling definitively on how the Salem witch trials were a turning point in history. Beyond learning that witches were not burned at the stake, we discovered that there were few witch-like qualities about the 200 people who were accused of witchcraft in Salem, Massachusetts in 1692 to 1693. In fact, they were pretty typical New England citizens. Enslaved servants, poor mothers, critics of Puritan society, and people who did not attend church were just a few of those who were accused. In the end, 30 people were found guilty and imprisoned, and 20 were killed. Most of them were women. In our project, we discuss how these trials from over 300 years ago influence our current day political system. The trials were a watershed moment when the importance of cross-examination and representation became clear. This led to the dismantling of the Court of Oyer and Terminer, the court that relied on intangible evidence such as dreams or visions. It was used to be known as spectral evidence. The court that replaced it is foundational to the U.S. justice system today. One of the most fulfilling moments in our project was when we realized the connection between the Superior Court of Judicature and the U.S. Constitution. During his tenure as Chief Justice in this court, John Adams drafted the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and its concepts were central to Madison's contributions to the U.S. Constitution. This aha moment in our project helped us make a well-rounded and complete thesis. Initially, our turning point was going to be the creation of the Superior Court of Judicature alone. We thought it important that the Salem witch trials led to the rejection of spectral evidence and the creation of a new government for Massachusetts. However, being able to tie this court directly to the justice system in the U.S. today was a moment when we realized the significance of our research. We know that if we ever have to go on trial, we will have defense. This is not only something that the women in 1692 did not have, but something that they paved the way for. Their contribution is rarely acknowledged. Although we no longer hunt witches or rely on dreams or ghostly tales as evidence, society still reaches for convenient scapegoats to explain its problems. I realized then that my research did not only have an effect on my grades in language arts, but gave me a deeper appreciation for the history of our country and how events of the past have affected our rights today in a very real way. So, what else did we learn? You may be shocked to hear that coordinating a project among 4 intelligent and forthright people comes with its own challenges. Learning to work as a group, divide tasks, and even when to be quiet are valuable skills. We learned to organize an enormous amount of research, leverage the skills of each group member, and compose a thesis and proper annotated bibliography. While we were excited as we explored our topic, we were equally excited for the collaboration that this group project fostered, turning 4 relative strangers into lifelong friends. We've gained confidence in public speaking skills as we've had to quickly articulate answers to questions from judges and explain the significance of our topic in only a couple of minutes. We were also inspired by seeing our peers' projects. Not only did they teach us about histories we'd never heard before, they also served as a great example to us. They motivated us to make our project better as we saw the great things people were capable of making. We believe that the most motivating and inspiring part of the NHD process was growing the ability to answer our own questions. The aha moment was when the cumulative knowledge we had built on our subject enabled us to recognize the significance of our thesis when we came across it. It would have been easier to adopt the conclusions reached by others. We wanted to dig deeper. We are now able to explore the questions that engage us most deeply. For the first time, I saw my fellow classmates get genuinely excited about a historical topic. Students who I had never seen eager about school in general passionately spoke about their research. Movie fans wrote about how Disney forever changed cinema, and athletes made projects about Jackie Robinson and how he changed segregation in sports. With a creative mindset, you may ask any question that gives you your own passion to learn. Opportunities like these are what motivate students to attend class and put effort into their products. National History Day is an opportunity for kids to learn to love school. By leading our own project, we learned how to formulate our own prompts, discover and evaluate a range of resources, and find answers to our own questions. In the real world, our hands will not be held, exact questions will not be provided, and we must gain that ability for ourselves before we move into college and careers. This is why the skill set that NHD provides us with is not just a privilege and an enjoyable school assignment, but undeniably a way to set students up for success. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ladies. What a wonderful presentation from 4 incredibly smart and gifted young ladies. So I want to open up this time to board members if they have questions or comments that they'd like to share.
Sure, we have Member Reel, and then Member Carey, and then Member Hart.
Thanks, Chair. This was really cool. Made my morning. I think it is so interesting the topic that you chose, and clearly you were all very successful and passionate about it, and the part about how it helped you love learning is especially exciting for me. Quick question, did you watch Hocus Pocus as part of your research on
Honestly, we were thinking about including it in our project, but we decided that wouldn't be completely historically accurate.
Yeah,
so
right. I
we didn't end
understand.
up adding
Yeah,
it in,
yeah.
but
Okay.
it was, we thought about it.
Right. It is one of the best movies of all
Yes.
time. So
100%.
great job, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Member Carey.
Thank you, Chair. I just can't say enough. I agree with Board Member Reel, the excitement, the passion, and not only what you learned academically, but you talked about some of those durable skills, right? Learning when to speak, when to not. We're still learning that here. But you, like, to learn those kinds of skills, I think that's integral to education. I do have one question, if I may, Chair, and that is, what was this runner-up topic that the four of you thought, you know, you went with Salem Witch Trials. What was number 2 on your list if you didn't do that?
Yeah, we had a very long list, and it was hard to narrow it down. We wanted to do something that was unique. Our theme was pretty broad, so there was a lot of things we could apply to it. So we were really interested, I think, like we said, Renaissance, women's suffrage. We wanted to do kind of a women's rights project. And even though the Salem Witch Trials is actually a pretty common topic for NHD, we thought we could take a pretty unique thesis. So most people talk about kind of the emotional mass hysteria aspect, but we thought talking about the political aspect would be something that's not heard about a lot. So that's why we ended up choosing it, but it was a hard call.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Vice Chair Hart.
Is your teacher here today?
Right here. Miss Herbert.
Ladies, your poise, your clarity, your project, your thoroughness is inspiring. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Member Lear.
Hi, I represent your area, and I am
Nice to
so
meet you.
proud to do that. And you probably know my granddaughter, Sophie Lear, maybe. And so I think Sophie's your age. So I am really impressed, and the piece of it that was most impressive to me, well, it was all, you were all just very, as someone said, very articulate and very poised. But I love the connection to the law that you made, how this particular issue grew into the need for real evidence, hard evidence, not just, I feel this person is guilty. I feel it, you know, I kind of, it's a feeling rather than the hard evidence piece. And I love that connection. That is just, you guys are just amazing. And I'm a lawyer and looking at potential young lawyers like yourselves. I really urge you to stay involved civically and stay involved politically and know the world around you, because you've got a beautiful beginning, and your teacher must just be amazing. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Member Lear. Superintendent Dixon.
Thank you, Chair Hymas. Young ladies, we may or may not have felt intimidated by you, just a little bit, but you've made us very proud about what can occur in public education as an extension of probably conversations that you have at home as well. So there are probably parents in the audience that need a shout out. Thank you for being here with your students. Raise your hands, moms.
Parents,
Yeah.
parents, where are you? Can you stand for us so
Yeah.
we can see you?
Yeah, we want you to stand. Yeah,
There we go.
thank you.
Thank you.
We know that it takes everyone, but I just, for the board's sake, I think this is an exemplar of what happens in rich dialogue and deep study of deep knowledge that happens in our classrooms. When we engage in things like, we also have mock trials and debate and other opportunities for students. I was trying to list them all and think of all of them, but I just want to highlight that they also breed deep literacy. So you talked about something that was really amazing that I haven't really thought about beyond the Salem witch trials, but the literature that you dug into, the historical documents, I mean, the literacy that has been imbued in you by the work that you've been doing, I think is something that we need to think about as a board as well. So these are cross-cutting themes across content. And thank you for coming and being an exemplar of what great study, scholarship, and great teaching and parenting all looks like wrapped together. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, ladies.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you for coming and joining us. As we move to agenda item 1.4, employee recognition, we invite Paula Plant up. As she's coming, I will say it's always a pleasure to have students join us. Here at the board, in board meetings, you can see board members kind of perk up when children walk in. And then yesterday we watched the PEA committee just melt when kids were kind of coming up, and so it's always a pleasure to have them. With that, Paula, good luck. I don't think you have kids with you, but we'll pay attention anyway. But we'll turn the time over to you. Thank you.
So, Paula, it is really hard to follow children. So, and I know that member Lear and member Real won't want to miss this because they love you. So I'm stalling for a minute. But let me begin, and then hopefully they can come back in. So when I saw Paula's nomination, my first thought was the old adage, "Durr." Why hasn't she been Employee of the Year and of Lifetime? I think that's what somebody said. Paula is not only a legend in our office, but on the Hill and in our schools. Paula Plant is so loved and appreciated. And I want to tell you just a little bit about Paula. She's known for being this lovely human being, but she is known throughout the state for her dedication to the School Land Trust program. And she has just left this profound and lasting impact on education throughout Utah because of her dedication and vision and leadership. So Paula was really a pioneer of this program. Paula, you were involved in PTA for a number of years, right? And then found out about the Land Trust program and just became such a passionate advocate. So when she took on a more active role at the state, it started with about a couple of $1 million a year in the Land Trust. As of 2025, I've got to make sure I've got this correct. So there's $111 million for fiscal year 26 for distributions to our schools. So think about that. This little petite, lovely human being has championed a fund from $2 million to $111 million. I have been at her side and in the audience watching her on the Hill, and she has this uncanny ability to just quietly and yet fiercely get things done. I've watched her wrangle with lawmakers when they don't even know that they're being wrangled. And I've just seen her do amazing work. She is a respected administrator of the program, and she's known by parents and teachers and educators and principals and superintendents and legislators for her expertise, commitment, and kindness. Those are three terms that we hear about her often. She tirelessly trains and mentors her employees. She champions work-life balance, and yet still manages to accrue more overtime hours than probably anyone in this agency, due to just making sure that the program keeps running, that we have advocacy, because as we know, these are not only key dollars, but they're flexible dollars for our schools. Her contribution to education is just so significant because she really understands that this program extends beyond funding. It's one thing to go out and raise money, but she really gets that this provides valuable resources right at the school level, at the classroom level. Beyond her professional achievements, she just has exceptional character, and she embodies all the qualities that we want to emulate. And I see people in the audience just nodding. Those of us who've been able to rub shoulders with her, we all want to be like Paula when we grow up because she's such a lovely human being. And my favorite thing is embarrassing Paula. She is, when you have a conversation with her, I think this is the first time I've seen this happen, but when you have a conversation with her, you know that she's going to turn it back to you if you give her any accolades. So we have a tradition when we celebrate the Employee of the Month, we get on a Zoom call and we all go around and we all say these nice things about the person. And it's always super uncomfortable, and they sit there quietly and thank you, and they're a little embarrassed. We could not get a word in because Paula would cut us off and start to say nice things about everybody that was talking about her. And that is just Paula's way. She just hates the accolades being poured on her. And she's been recognized a couple of times and more recognition to come around the state. But we are so honored that Paula works with us here as part of Team USBE, that she has made a huge impact on this state, and it will live on. Paula can retire someday, and her legacy will live on the way that she has built the School Land Trust up through her leadership. So Paula, we are so thankful that you are part of the legacy of this state in public education. We appreciate and love you and honor you as Employee of the Month. And you don't even have to give a speech, so you can't talk back.
Well, and I'd like to add, I know, it's a short story, I know a small LEA that had a lot of confusion, and they just weren't sure they were doing everything right, and there was a new principal, and the director, needed to help get these principals feeling good about what they were doing, and make sure that they were dotting their I's and crossing their T's, and so the director called Paula Plant one night, and by 9:30 the next morning, that Paula's team had a person, a trainer to that LEA, had them trained, had them feeling really good about what they were doing and the path they were on, corrected any misconceptions. Within 24 hours, principals went from, am I doing this right? Man, these are a lot of, I'm not sure, and there's been some changes, and then there's a new guy over there in the corner going, I don't even know what I'm doing over here. Someone forgot to train me. And 24 hours later, Paula had those folks doing exactly what they needed to do for the school children of Utah, and it's just a great example of how she can make things happen. And for that, Paula, I can't thank you enough as a practitioner and as someone who cares about Utah school children. The work you do in all the different spaces that you do it in is extraordinary. So thank you.
Thank you, Paula.
Am I done?
Is she saying something? I don't want to put her on the spot, even though we kind of are. Okay, thank you, Paula. Thank you for all you do. Okay.